right, thanks a lot, Dave. We're here at the Mack Center on the campus of Kent State University. The Golden Flash is trailing the Salukis on Bracket Buster Saturday. Jamaal Turner knocks down a jump shot. The Salukis now with a 4-0 lead. Southern Illinois out of the Missouri Valley taking on the Mack's Kent State Golden Flashes. Kent State coming into the game 16-9 overall. The Salukis 21-6 as both teams, Mike Jarvis, step out of conference for a pivotal and critical game.
Huge games, not only for their teams, but also for their conferences to gain a lot of respect. Real nice ball move at that time. But what you're going to see today, and what we've seen already before the fans joined us, was Kent State went zone early against the Southern Illinois team. Their strategy today is going to be to try to make Southern Illinois shoot and make threes. On the other hand, they've got to take care of the basketball because Southern Illinois, led by Darren Brooks, is one of the great teams in the country as far as defensive pressure and stealing the basketball.
Yeah, they only allow their opponents 61 points per game. Right now, Cutley at the free throw line for Kent State. Cutley, a 67% free throw shooter, knocks it down, and it's a one-point ball game just underway here at the Mack Center. Take a look at the starting lineups. Interesting to note that Southern Illinois started playing very, very good basketball once they reinserted Matt Shaw back into the starting lineup, and a bit of a change today, a departure for Kent State, as Marcus Crenshaw, the 5'9 freshman, gets the start at point. Armin Gates will be coming off the bench.
Jay Youngblood, who just checked back into the game for Kent State, is playing really well lately. In fact, he had 15 his last game, and they need a little more offense against this Southern Illinois team.
Darren Brooks missing that three-pointer, but they get the rebound back. Darren Brooks, the reigning Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year in the Missouri Valley.
That's where Southern Illinois is so dangerous, putting the ball on the ground, whether it's man or zone.
Once again, it's Jamaal Tatum knocking down his second long-range jumper. Tatum, a very talented sophomore from Jefferson City, Missouri. Averaging a little over 11 points a game. Southern Illinois leading 7-3.
It's huge for Southern Illinois for Jamaal Tatum to make a couple of jump shots because he hasn't been shooting well lately.
Rosinski rejected underneath, out of bounds. And it's on for the Golden Flashes. It'll be Southern Illinois ball. The Mack's having a good day so far. See if Kent State can keep up the pace here. Bracket Buster Saturday here on ESPN 2, and Southern Illinois leading 7-3. I'm Mark Jones, courtside along with Mike Jarvis. Thanks for coming aboard, Mike. The Salukis have won 4 consecutive games. They're playing some good basketball, leading the Missouri Valley Conference. Tough when you step out of conference in a game like this.
Well, it's always tough when you step out, but this is a veteran team, and they can do it.
Let's take a look at our Star Watch. Darren Brooks, the guy to watch when you talk about Southern Illinois in the backcourt.
Well, he's one of the best backcourt players in the country. Leads his team in just about every category, and especially in wins where he's got 100. For Kent State, on the other hand, you got Kevin Wazinski, who will step away from the basket as a big forward, can pass it, can shoot it from outside, and at times it almost looks like Kent State's playing with 5 perimeter players.
Wazinski had 14 points in their last game, a loss at Buffalo. Averaging 12.5 per game. Salukis with possession. In the red uniforms, Kent State in the white.
Kent State has gone back to man-to-man, which is their primary defense, but they're going to mix it up today, as we saw already with the 2-3 zone.
Tatum with a nice feed to Shaw, and Shaw knocks down his second baseline jump shot. Seems to like that spot as Southern Illinois now with a 9-3 lead.
Both teams have very skilled forwards. They can all step away from the basket and knock down that mid-range jump shot, which makes both teams very difficult to defend.
Mike Scott has checked into the ballgame for the Golden Flashes. There's Gates out top. He's trying to break out of a bit of a shooting slump. He's 0 for his last 12 three-pointers in.
Well, the best thing he can do, Mark, is keep taking them because eventually they'll fall again. He's a good shooter.
Youngblood, who had an outstanding night Tuesday night in that loss at Buffalo. He had 15 points, knocks down his first field goal there, and it's 9-5. Brooks has been conspicuous by his offensive silence so far.
Well, that's got a lot to do with the defense of Kent State. They're going to give him a lot of extra attention. The other thing great about him is, as you'll see here, he will not force things.
That time he missed the layup, a jump ball. And the possession arrow in favor of Southern Illinois. A couple more subs coming into the ball game. Cutley coming in for Kent State.
Well, here's Darren on the drive on the baseline, and you know, that time there maybe just a little bit anxious. I think he wants to show the nation how good he really is.
Like, interesting to note that both these coaches, Chris Lowery and Jim Christian, Kent State like to use their benches liberally. Falker missing the layup inside. Had a good look at it.
Well, they both do, and they both realize that these teams are only going to get better, and the players are only going to get better if they get a chance to play. And neither coach is afraid to put in a fresh body at any time.
Chris Lowery in his first season as the head man for Southern Illinois, keeping the momentum going in that program. And Jim Christian in his third season on the sidelines at Kent State. Christian saying that this is a big confidence game for his crew. They still have a chance of winning the MAC East Division title with 4 games remaining in their season.
Well, that league is so bunched up. You're talking about a team that right now is in 7th place, but they're a half a game out of 2nd. So this is a huge game. And it's huge because when they get into the league tournament at the end of the year, the top teams get by, so you want to get that bye in the first round.
Here's Gates. Swing it weak side.
The thing I love about both these teams is they move the ball really well. Both teams are, I think, very unselfish, and they play good, old-fashioned, fundamental basketball.
Well, look at Southern Illinois, Mike, really denying hard on the wings, and great ball pressure. Haynes inside. A nice speed, but Edwin missed the shot.
But he got it back.
Missed it again. Tipped up 3 for a quarter. 5 for a dollar. They finally made one count.
Well, when you're out denying and you're overplaying the passing lanes, you do give up a little bit of rebounding position, but Southern Illinois scores so many points off of steals and transition.
Here's Young out top. 2-point ball game. 13:20 to go in the first half. Brooks still hasn't scored for the Salukis. On the baseline, Owen missing. There's going to be a push underneath. The foul is going to go against Randall Falker, the 6'7" freshman.
Both teams well-schooled on defense. That time you could see the weak side players, the players coming from the side opposite the ball, coming over to help, and then recovering. And both guys today in their shoot-arounds were really emphasizing how important it was to control the dribble and protect the paint.
That was the 13th foul against Southern Illinois, as Edwin will take a seat on the bench. Both Edwin and Wierzinski not in the ball game. That's some 25 points per game on the bench for Kent State. Mike, where is the offense going to come from?
Well, you know, it's really funny you asked that, but Gerwing, who is number 2, played on that grade 8 team that they had a few years ago, and he knows how to play. His problem has been he's been having some knee problems with 3 operations.
Well, that time it was Cutley getting inside with that wide body of his. And we are tied at 9 apiece. Whistle and a foul underneath, going to go against the Golden Flashes. That's their 16th foul already. Hey, Bracket Buster Saturday featuring teams trying to break their way into March's NCAA Tournament continues with 2 more games coming up next right here on ESPN2. It's UW Milwaukee against Hawaii at 8 o'clock Eastern. Then at midnight Eastern, Omar Thomas and UTEP take on the Pacific Tigers. Not off the mark. Well, look at Cutley battling inside and rejected nicely by Falker.
This is where Southern Illinois is very dangerous. Kent State today's turned the tables a little bit so far in terms of them getting the steals.
Youngblood not shy, had to go halfway down and out. Falker active at both ends of the floor, and right now Kent State in the midst of a 6-0 run, still tied at 9.
And you know what's good is both these teams, as good as they are in defense, and they hold their opponents down in scoring. It's not because they hold the ball, it's because they play good defense. Because both teams will run and try to score off transition.
Inside, block shot. 2 misses that time by LaMar Owen. And we have a timeout on the floor. Southern Illinois, one of the winningest programs in all of college basketball over the last 3 years, facing a daunting task here at the Mack Center in their fans. Well, the fans here at the Mack Center braved the freezing and frigid temperatures outside hours prior to the game to get inside. Boy, they are pretty loud. And, you know, Southern Illinois in tough against those fans over the last 3 years. Look at that record. Each of those seasons, they went to the NCAA Tournament, 25, 24, and 28 wins, Mike Jarvis. And it all started with Bruce Weber. And right now, they have had some very good caretakers of the program. The man in charge of that right now, Chris Lowery, has done a wonderful job at 21-6 this season.
And he's only 32 years old. And but the one thing that they have done, and we'll talk a little bit about this later, the AD here has kept this program in-house. And he said, you know what, we're winning. Nothing's wrong. There's no need of changing. Let's not fix something that's going wrong. And that's what they keep doing. They just keep on winning.
Lowery, a former point guard at Southern Illinois. Went to the Sweet 16 3 years ago. The last 2 years, unfortunately, have lost in the first round of the NCAAs. And that time, the jump shot by Shaw rejected. Good defensive play by Scott Cutler.
Real good. And speaking of defense, Kent State has mixed up their defenses against out of bounds. Last time they went zone. This time here, it looks like they're going a little bit man-to-man.
Shaw had it knocked away off the errant pass from Brooks. And Crenshaw misfiring with the pass.
Well, no need that time for the fancy pass. Just make the simple, good, old-fashioned two-hand chest pass. Get it done.
Southern Illinois comes into this game with an RPI of 13.
That'll get you in the tournament any year, at least it should. And this is a team that if they just keep playing solid, they will be in the NCAA tournament. They'll probably win some games when they get there.
Hairston on the baseline, no good. And it's one and done at the offensive end for the Salukis.
Doing a nice job, Kent State, once they're coming over to help on the drives, taking away the total drive to the basket.
Interesting that Tatum and Shaw, the only players to score for Southern Illinois, albeit right now on defense as we approach the midway point of the first half. Baseline jump shot way off the mark. Herwig missed everything. And quickly, Hairston. Well, Kelly had a good look the first time he passed it up.
I wonder which team is one of the top leaders in steals, because Kent's doing a great job stealing the basketball. Nice jump stop.
The jumper no good. Crenshaw now, he's a gunner. The Flash is pounding the glass. Herwig tied up, jump ball, possession error in favor of Kent State as Warsinski comes back into the ballgame.
Well, I think it's still Kent State's ball. Fans, of course, are a little bit upset. They thought he got fouled. That was a clean block. Didn't see the jump, but nevertheless, the right team has the basketball. Kent State, Southern Illinois will play probably 99.9%. In fact, make that 100% man-to-man.
And it's paid off this year. They've limited their opponents to just 61 points per game. Warsinski came up way short then.
Yes, and that's obviously their defense extending out on it. He's got to have to get it off a little quicker than that against these guys.
Darren Brooks being stymied so far defensively. Hasn't been able to get many open looks like that one until now. Brooks knocks down the three-pointer, and that's why he's the reigning Missouri Valley Conference and Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Averaging over 14 points a game, leads the team in rebounding as well at over 5 per game. And he's their Iron Man, 33 minutes per run. Won't see him on the bench that much today.
No, you won't. And he knows how to play, and he's the kind of guy that he can turn it up when his team needs it most. Good job on the boards that time, boxing out by Southern Illinois, and they're going to have to continue to do that.
Josh Warren with a good rebound. Here he is at the offensive end, looking inside. Nice feed to Shaw. And Shaw gets the layup over Warsinski. Southern Illinois out in front, 14-9. As we pass the midway point of the first half.
Well, earlier today, Coach Christian was talking about getting the ball inside. Let's see if Kent State will go inside to Warsinski sooner than later, as they need to get in.
Crenshaw, the freshman from Detroit, Michigan.
Of course, if you hit those jump shots, maybe you don't.
Crenshaw shoots about 44% from downtown. Tatum working him on defense inside.
Really nice, real solid, fundamental bounce pass off against the overplay.
Hairston made it count. And the lead is back up to 5.
These guys can really play. They just know how to play basketball. They've been playing together, seems like forever. And they really read each other very well.
Crenshaw underneath, had it partially blocked. Got it back.
That's where you just want your point guard to slow the team down. Try to see if you can get the ball inside a little bit, because if there's any one place you want to go against Southern Illinois, it's inside.
Now it's Crenshaw's show at the point. 3 seconds on the shot clock. They had to hoist one up. Youngblood way off the mark.
You got no shot, you got no clock. You got to know when that clock's winding down. And that's not just the job of the point guard, that's the job of his teammates as well. Somebody should have told him.
Tatum on the baseline. He's been their most prolific shooter, and there he proves it once again.
He is so quick. He's a nightmare.
Jim Christian calls timeout for Kent State as Jamaal Tatum starts to light it up. Tatum, with 3 jump shots from outside, has done well offensively for Southern Illinois. Well, tonight, a full day of ESPN college basketball wrapping up at 9 Eastern as the SEC's leading scorer, Lawrence Roberts of Mississippi State Bulldogs, try to hand Kentucky their 2nd straight conference loss. Mississippi State, Kentucky also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Contact your cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network today.
How many?
Right now, it's a 7-point ball game, and Jamaal Tatum has really found his stroke from outside. He was a member of the all-freshman team last year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Really having a breakout season. Tatum with 5 points in the ball game.
If there's any weakness in Tatum's game, at times it's just a matter of strength. Probably needs to put on maybe another 5 pounds of muscle, but he's a very, very tenacious player. Probably the best defender on the ball, as you can see here. He's great against the basketball. Gets a lot of 5-second counts.
Haynes now, Mike, back in the ball game, running the point for Kent State.
We'll see if we go inside.
Edwin, nice feed underneath. Brzezinski lost the handle. And Tatum was fouled going for a loose ball by Youngberg. That's the 3rd team foul against Kent State. Saluki's also with 3 team fouls, and you got to watch it because this is the type of afternoon on Bracket Buster Saturday. If you're not careful, you'll get your fillings rattled in your teeth. It's rough underneath, folks. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone. Saturday night, Bracket Buster Saturday here on ESPN2. Southern Illinois out of the Missouri Valley Conference leading by 8, and Kent State with a lot of work ahead, but during the last 6 seasons, they have been one of the better programs in the country. In the 3 straight NCAA tournaments, making it to the Elite 8 in 2002, and the departed coach, Stan Heath, now at Arkansas.
And I was looking at that graphic. You see some of those players. And how about the football? How about the football player?
Hates.
Hey.
Never played football here for the Golden Flashes, but has made a nice living, grabbing some nice paychecks doing it for the San Diego Chargers.
Well, let's take a look. I hope you can see him. Oh, he's in attendance as well, huh?
Antonio Gates.
Oh, boy. What a great year.
Had a good time out in Hawaii recently playing in the Pro Bowl. Scored some points for his team. Nice pass from Peyton Manning.
And his team has gone back to zone, trying to slow down the Southern Illinois team a little bit.
Oh, what a great feed by Tatum inside to Shaw, Mike.
He's having a great game. He's doing it all. He's driving, scoring, and he's passing the basketball. And, of course, he's playing great defense.
Southern Illinois now in the midst of a 7-0 run. With 6.5 minutes to play in the first half, they lead by 10. Edwin trying to get on track, and he does, taking it to the cup.
Well, that was huge, because anytime you get down by more than 10, it seems like it's a psychological barrier that some teams have a very difficult time dealing with. Great ball movement by Southern Illinois.
They cash in on the baseline. Nice move by Tony Young. One of several players, one of 4 players off the bench for Chris Lowery that gets regular run. Tatum and Shaw both with 8 points in the ballgame.
Great balance with this team, and you know, you give their guards a little bit more attention than sometime maybe you want to, and it just opens up things for a lot of people.
13 on the shot clock. Youngblood comes up short. Out of bounds, it'll be Kent State ball. The one thing, Mike, you notice when you watch Southern Illinois defensively, they really make you start your offense far out.
They really do. I mean, and that's because they pick up full court. And even after made baskets, they're going to get you right at the end line. So if you're not careful and you don't have a really good point guard, you're starting off as 25 feet per basket.
And because of that, Kent State shooting just 24% from the field right now.
Right, you've got to get the ball inside, whether it's by the pass or by the dribble.
Kick it back out to Haynes. Haynes trying to break out of his shooting slump. Back comes Southern Illinois. Shooting 48% from the field so far.
They're really a solid team at both ends of the court, and they're so unselfish.
Oh, Warren wasn't expecting to pass that time from Hairston. Out of bounds, and it'll be Kent State basketball. That's the 6th turnover of the ball game for the Southern Illinois Salukis.
That's what I mean right here. They're picking them up, and they're going to make you work every inch of the floor, 94 feet.
5 minutes to go in the first half.
And if and when the ball does go in the post, they'll usually come in doubles, just like they did there with the weak side forward, with the low man opposite the ball.
Jumper no good by Cutley. It's one and done, though. About 5 minutes ago, Kent State was doing a nice job on the offensive boards, but haven't gotten any since.
Well, they've got to stay patient. They've got to do a better job boxing out, that's for sure.
There's off the mark.
Run when you can, set it up when you can.
Edwin, nice speed cross court. Cutley and one. Scott Cutley will have an opportunity to complete the three-point play.
Against the Southern Illinois team, you may want to try to really get the ball up quickly and then go for quick scores just like you see right here, as opposed to trying to set up the half-court offense.
Cutley with 7 points in the ball game, the leading scorer for Kent State. The team had 5 rebounds against Buffalo in their loss in their last game earlier this week, and 67% foul shooting knocks that one down. And that snaps the long run by Southern Illinois. The lead down to 7 with 4:20 to play in the first half.
Point in the game where you tell your team, let's get 2 or 3 stops in a row and score a couple of times. And you know what? It's a new ball game.
Dale off to Young, and Young is off the mark.
Well, of course, if you get a good advantage, fine. Otherwise, set it up. Good patience that time.
Well, Youngblood was just itching to shoot. Nice move on the block. Cutley couldn't finish it that time. Out of bounds, and it's full with the golden flag. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Bracket Busters Saturday. Hopes, dreams, aspirations on the line when we come back. Yeah, what about that? When is a season really not canceled?
Well, I don't think it ever is. But, you know, Scott just made a real good point about the road and how tough it is to win. One thing I think everybody needs to know watching these games in Bracket Buster, and it's a pretty good thing they did, the visiting team's officials from that league, in this case here, the Missouri Valley Conference officials are doing this game at Kent State. That sort of balances things, I think, tremendously, and it gives the visiting team a better chance than they usually have on the road.
Well, the good thing about this contest so far is that it really hasn't been a factor.
No, it hasn't.
7-point lead and 3:40 to go in the first half.
And we were going to talk about Brooks being on the bench, but he's back in the game. And what we were going to say, and I think is an example of how good this Southern Illinois team is that when you can have your best player on the bench for 3, 4, 5 minutes in the first half, that's a pretty good sign of depth.
Brooks, an outstanding athlete. Both Wisconsin and Iowa asked him to walk on for the respective football teams coming out of high school. Also an outstanding baseball player, drawing interest from the Arizona Diamondbacks out of high school.
Well, it looks like a lot of these guys probably played good defense.
Oh, there's going to be a foul called against Youngblood.
It's, you know, you hate to see good defense, especially good off-the-ball defense, not rewarded.
Well, Mike, maybe we head back to the hotel or hit a sports bar and watch UW-Milwaukee take on Hawaii tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. Then a game at midnight. Omar Thomas and UTEP taking on UOP.
Well, I thought we were going to fly out and do that midnight game.
Hey, don't say it too loudly. They might have a good idea in there. Loose ball underneath, and this will be an easy one for Cutley.
Just lay it inside.
That's 10 points for Cutley in the ball game. The lead is shrunk down to 5. Edwin with Tight defense on Brooks out top.
Doing a real good job, both teams defensively, helping against screens on the ball.
Hairston had a notion.
Kent State is trailing all the guys coming off screens, so Southern Illinois look for them to start curling going into the lane.
Tatum feeling his groove and getting his groove on. Jamaal Tatum, the sophomore, knocks down another 3-ball. He's got 11 in the ball game. It's 26-18.
I believe that's his third three. He's really playing well at both ends.
46% from downtown a season ago. Keeps the trend going. Haynes missed the reverse layup. Haynes is really slumping it late.
Yeah, but you know, once again, I'm glad his coach hasn't quit on him. Because as long as he doesn't quit on himself, he'll get out of the slump. It's a good help. Good help him recover that time by Kent State.
There's Brooks. Nice feed to Falker on the baseline, and Haynes comes up with a rebound. A nice quick hit ahead to Gates.
You know the beautiful thing?
Youngblood off the mark, and he got it back.
The beautiful thing about watching teams play, you got two very good man-to-man teams, and just the little things that they do, and they do a little differently. Southern Illinois likes to jump, double-team balls when you come off screens. Kent State likes to help and recover, but they both do it very well.
The nuances in the ball game, and got a 5-second violation that time against the Golden Flashes.
Wow.
See that one whistled often, but you saw the graphic a few moments ago. Kent State has not made a 3-point field goal in the ball game so far as they approach 1.5 to go in the first half. Brooks underneath. He's got the strength to get a shot off down there, but missed that time. Out of bounds, Saluki basketball.
Darren looks like he's forcing just a little bit today. He's got to, I think, just be a little bit more patient when he gets the ball inside that post.
Brooks with 4 double-doubles on the season. Having a tough time getting it in bounds, but made the right pass.
Nice pass.
Owen was rejected.
Good execution on that out-of-bounds play.
Brooks wide open and drops it like it's hot. Darren Brooks knocks down his first 3-pointer. He's got 6 in the game. And the lead has swollen back up to 11 points.
Well, it's nice when your best player can score sometime, you know, without even shooting the ball and get it off the defense like he can.
Crowd has been kept out of the ball game so far here at Kent State.
Good point. That's what you always want to do when you're the visiting team. There's that little double team we were talking about on handoffs and coming off screens. They like to double.
Brzezinski missed an easy one. They got the rebound back. Haynes out top. And he finally got one to fall. You know, his head coach, Jim Christian, after the Buffalo game, sat him down in his office and said, listen, son, you're not going to break out of a shooting slump by not putting in some extra time in the gym. In the last 3 consecutive days, he has put in a lot of time, putting up hundreds of jump shots per day. And hopefully the young man can come around. Well, 14 seconds to go in the first half. 9-point lead for the Salukis. Tatum, the offensive spark plug of the game so far for Southern Illinois, going to decide it himself, and that's how he does it. Jamaal Tatum.
Time for last shot.
He is just freak nasty on these guys. He's just killing them in the first 20 minutes of play. Jamaal Tatum is on fire right now. Throw some water on him. 14 points in the first half. Scott Reese in the studio with a Century 21 halftime report. Scott, that's a 5-alarm blaze right now. And welcome back, everyone, to the Memorial Athletic Center here on the campus of Kent State University as we get started here for the second half of action. It's a 12-point lead. And the good news for Southern Illinois, Mike, is that they are 19-1 on the season when leading at halftime. What does Kent State have to do to get back into this ball game?
Well, first of all, they've got to start making some shots. They're getting some open shots, especially when they double team and when against the zone. But they've got to start against the man, rather. They've got to start making some shots. They got to get the ball inside because they're doing a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. And I think they got to rebound a little better as well.
Defensively, they have got to slow down Jamaal Tatum. Jamaal Tatum had 14 points in the first half, most of them coming from long range.
He's had a great first half. He's supposed to be, or at least noted for his shooting. He's noted for his defense, but he shoots over 40%, and he's so quick with the ball. He can get his shot off the dribble. He can also get it off the pass.
And it speaks, as we mentioned, to their depth that their best player, arguably, Brooks, is substandard so far offensively. But his teammates have picked up the slack. Here we go in the second half.
Kent State starts out man-to-man against them. They just soon play zone, but they have no choice being down by 12. Can't give up the base.
Hairston missed the layup. Had a good look at it.
Now let's see if Kent can be a little bit more patient this half. 12 points down is really not that much. You make a couple of baskets, get it under 10, and then you can make it a ball game again.
Edwin off the screen. Nice feed to Cutley, and Cutley passed it home.
Just like that. Just be a little patient and try to get the ball inside, whether it's by the pass or the dribble.
Cutley, the best offensive player in the ball game so far for the Golden Flashes. He has 12. Hairston out top.
Nice patience this time by Southern Illinois. They've got skilled forwards who can step away from the basket. And of course, their guards are super quick and can penetrate any time.
Brooks comes up a little bit short. Haynes with the rebound. Cutley once again, same spot, different result.
Good idea, Val. You take that shot anytime you can get it.
Just Darren Brooks. Darren Brooks, the reigning Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the MVC. Shaw out top. Halfway down and out for Brooks. In transition, quickly, Edwin. Couldn't get it to fall out of bounds, and it's Saluki basketball.
Two great scoring opportunities. They've got to capitalize on those.
Boy, Southern Illinois shooting 43% from the field, but even more shocking, 26% from the field for Kent State.
Well, that's a lot to do with the defense, and then, of course, those missed drives that they're not converting.
Hairston out top. Tatum coming off the curl on the baseline. Really looking for him coming off those screens. Here's Brooks.
Very unselfish that time.
Hairston from the corner, no good. Haynes going up high for the rebound and got it back. Nice time underneath. And one.
Great look. That's the way to pass the ball ahead to your teammates. Reward them for running the floor.
Jay Youngblood finishes the layup at the other end and has a chance to complete the three-point play.
Watch this pass. Great bounce pass. What's wrong with a nice, simple, effective bounce pass once in a while?
Spoken like a true coach. The Truco Division II Player of the Year last year out of Detroit, Michigan. Jay Youngblood completes the three-point play. The lead is down to 7 points.
You know what else needs to happen here, Mark? This crowd needs to get into this game. Don't just wait for this team to get ahead. Let's get in the game now with the Kent State fans, because we want to see this game come down to the wire.
Warren guarded by Wazinski. Brooks guarded by Edwin.
No way to push off that time, Steve Brooks.
Warren trying to post up underneath. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Hairston looking to ISO, get a high pick and roll. Brooks with 2 on the shot clock. Hairston just got it off.
Just got it off.
And that offensive possession was doomed, it seemed like, from the beginning. Jumper off the mark. Youngblood had a good look at it.
A 3 there would have been so important.
Oh, and Brooks put it on spin cycle and missed. Back the other way, up and down we go. DeAndre Haynes. Oh, he broke an ankle or two. Edwin with the rebound.
Got away with a hold in Southern Illinois.
And back we come again. It's Tatum's turn. It's a 3-on-2. Owen. Fast and furious here at the MAC.
Well, the big fella, Wazinski. There you go. Go inside to the big guy. Reward him for running the floor.
They went up and down a few times as foul was going to be called on Joshua Warren. What a crazy sequence this was.
Very much so, but good recovery on both teams' parts. They're getting up and down the floor, and they're making things happen.
LaMar Owen cashed in that time. He was the starter for the last 7 games prior to their last one. Youngblood knocks down the baseline jump shot.
Set up by a nice screen by his teammate Edwin.
It's the first basket of the game. Wazinski got his first bucket.
There's the crowd. I was wondering where they were.
Chris Lowery wants to talk it over. With just under 4 minutes elapsed here in the second half of play, the lead is down to 7 when we come back. USA game. Check the local listings for the game available in your area. Golden Flashes with possession, down by 7 points. State shooting a little bit better here in their early goings in the second half. Youngblood out top. Brzezinski off the curl, missed it. 2-on-2, Young trying to force the issue.
Nice patience this time.
Brooks on the bench for Southern Illinois. This hasn't been a problem so far in this game. Here's Owen from outside. Ball knocked away. It's Kent State ball. Gates comes back into the ball game for Edwin, and we have a timeout here on Bracket Buster Saturday. Back after this. Southern Illinois with a 7-point lead here on Bracket Buster Saturday. I'm Mark Jones courtside along with Mike Jarvis. Now, prior to the game, Kent State player Armand Gates walked down to the center of the court and laid down that chain that the manager there is holding. Now, that chain, a very interesting story. There you see DeAndre Haynes' name on it. Every player and every coach has their name on one of those links. It started last year when every player had to carry a chain during their endurance run, in which they had to complete that run in training camp during a certain period of time, and it was really a bonding experience for the players and the coaching staff, and they adopted it as their team credo. Their credo now being that our chain never breaks. It was pretty imposing to see Gates walk out there with that thing around his neck. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what he was going to do with it at first.
No, I thought he was going to give it to you to wear. Maybe I'll see you wearing that at our next game. But it's true when they talk about chains, and you know, it's only as strong as the weakest link, and it's a real sign of team unity and a real bonding thing.
There's Gates from outside.
Of course, a 3 would really help to bond this team.
They could use one. They haven't made one in the game yet.
Well, you know what? You get to a point where you either got to make one or you just got to stop taking them and get the ball inside.
Things out top.
Just like that.
Another jumper off the mark by Youngblood. Back come the Salukis with a 7-point lead. 15 minutes to go in the ball game. Southern Illinois comes into this contest 21-6 overall. They won 2 consecutive times on Bracket Buster Saturday.
And they do it because they play great defense and they get on the floor after the ball. And today you got Kent State, who usually shoots 40% as a team from 3 at 0.
Wow.
0 for 12, I believe.
And right now, Mike, LaMar Owen, a 6'5" senior from Owensboro, Kentucky, a little shaken up after that collision in the paint.
Well, the good thing is when you got a body like him, you're young and you're wiry, you get right up, and you know what? He'll be back in very shortly.
Top 6 man in the Missouri Valley Conference last season. Was a starter for a while until just recently, 7 games ago. Started coming off the bench once again.
Well, it just makes this team that much more dangerous when you can bring a guy like him off the bench.
Lowery really has a feel for his team because he's shooting 62% from the field since returning to his bench role. Here's Crenshaw from the baseline, drops it like it's hot. And the lead is down to 5 with 14 and a half to go. Crenshaw with 4 in the game. And he takes it over. It's a 3-on-1 for Kent State. Youngblood. Foul.
Close to being an intentional, but
Tony Young committing the foul. And Youngblood will go to the strike for a pair in an effort to cut the lead to just 3.
well, that was made by good on-the-ball defense, as you saw there. And then, obviously, at the end of the break, this little no-look pass. Of course, the old coach would probably rather see a nice bounce pass with the left hand.
You can't see enough of those, huh?
No, you can't. You can never get enough of those.
He's a 70% free throw shooter on the season. I mentioned that he was the JUCO Division II Player of the Year last year. Had a team-high 15 in their loss at Buffalo. He did a nice job on the floor today.
Great job. You know why coaches like the bounce pass, Mark?
Why?
Because if the defense stops a bounce pass, they usually have to kick it when the ball goes back to the offensive team. So you got 2 chances for 1 if you throw the bounce pass.
But the fans like the look away.
Well, that's nice, but you know what? Coaches get fired if look-aways aren't completely scored. Trust me.
15 on the shot clock. Hairston lets it fly. Out of bounds, Kent State basketball. A chance to come within 1 or tie it with a 3.
1 possession game right now. This is what, obviously, everybody came to see.
Jim Christian holds up his fist, calling out the play.
At halftime, Coach Christian, nice move.
Crenshaw. Oh!
Guess what? Is that a 2? Yeah, just a 2. But they'll take it.
That freshman from Detroit is fearless. He has 6 points.
That was take your pick. Who are you going to call the foul on? I think they got the first foul. Missed the second one, but you...
Marcus Crenshaw starting to light it up a little bit.
So just inside the tree as you saw here, the lefty goes up. Looked like he might have been hit also. But right now, Kent State will take the 2 and the 1-point deficit. And the bench is excited as they should be. Everybody should be into this game. I know we are.
And right now, Golden Flashes in the midst of an 8-0 run as Rosinski takes a seat.
I'm sure it'll be a short seat, give him a little rest.
They haven't been able to get off offensively in the game.
Well, it's tough. They do a really good job down in the post, doubling up on him. But he's still been very effective, and he opens things for other players.
There's Brooks. That's going to be a blocking foul against the Golden Flashes. Kent State with their second team foul. Southern Illinois with 14 fouls in the half.
Very fortunate that time not to get a charge call. Beat his man, got in the lane, got to go straight up and down. You want to land almost on the same spot you leave from. If you tilt in, you got a chance of picking up a charge and taking away a good play.
Brooks knocks down the first of 2. Mike, he's a player who flirted with the idea of turning pro last year, thought about putting his name into the NBA draft pool, but decided to come back, and he is a 5th-year senior. He is priceless and invaluable to this team.
And I think he made a great decision. I'm sure that he probably got some good advice that he wouldn't be a lottery pick. Why not come back to college, get a second degree? He's working on his master's, and he's mastering the ring.
Oh, Youngblood with a soft touch inside. It appeared to be partially blocked.
Yes, he was. He's having a really effective game, showing no respect for anybody.
Brooks trying to cross him up, trying to come back at him. Kent State with a chance for the lead.
And did you see the pass? It was called a bounce pass. We might give a little series on making the bounce pass and finishing off the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Who knows? Watch this. Spread the floor, run the break, take your pick, bounce pass, foul, and a basket.
Hairston chopped him on the play.
Now, I get excited about plays like that. Anybody can dunk. Not anybody. I couldn't.
That's the first lead of the ball game for the Golden Flashes. Jay Youngblood, who had a team-high 15 in their last game, has Southern Illinois head coach Chris Lowery contemplating his next move. Down by 2.
You said it was cold outside, but it certainly got hot in here.
Tatum on the baseline. He's been conspicuous by his silence in the second half.
Almost a steal.
Hairston. Tatum fouled. Will it count? Drop it. Jamaal Tatum got the fortuitous bounce. And he has a chance to put his team back in front. That was his 16th point.
Let's take a look at that again. I didn't quite see it. Maybe that's what happens when you bring your refs with you. You get a call like that at a crucial time in the game.
Jim Christian, the head coach for Kent State, is apoplectic on the sidelines. He can't believe that the officials counted that hoop.
Well, you know what? That's probably because he hasn't seen too many calls like that against him in this building where they hardly ever lose.
You don't have to be able to read lips to know what he's thinking right now. Good thing you can't get a technical foul for what you're thinking.
Oh, let me tell you something. I think a few guys have.
Youngblood. Nice strong move inside by Gerwin.
His knees look like they're holding up pretty good today. He's doing a nice job in the post, filling in for Lozinski.
Last year played the whole year with a separated shoulder, actually a couple of seasons ago.
Kent State says man-to-man. Why not? It's working. That's the danger, though.
Shaw kicks it back out to Tatum. A little high pick-and-roll action. Brooks with 10 on the shot clock. Nice speed underneath.
So unselfish.
Hairston missed the layup, but was fouled underneath by Haynes.
Good call, just about a half an hour late, that's all. But it was a good call.
You know, sometimes you're on the right train, but the wrong track. Brooks is looking for the right train right now. We'll be right back. All right, right, Scott, back here. A one-point ball game, 11:35 to go on Bracket Buster Saturday. Southern Illinois led for most of the game until about the last 2.5 minutes. Kent State, with a furious and frenetic run, regained the lead. It's 40-39. And in the second half, Kent State has outscored Southern Illinois by a margin of 20-7. Hairston at the free throw line. Hairston averaging just under 10 points per game for the Salukis. Fairview Heights, Illinois, a starter since his freshman year. Was all conference in Missouri Valley and all defensive team member as well.
Just show a picture of Chris Lowery, coach of Southern Illinois. And not only is he 32 years of age, he's also, since this is Black History Week, we're going to go exercise. He is the only head coach of color in the Missouri Valley Conference and the first African-American to coach, men's coach at Southern Illinois. So it's something extra to be proud about.
They certainly have a special thing going on campus there. Gerwig inside. Haynes out top. The three. Got it. DeAndre Haynes knocks down a three ball.
First one of the day, but a big one.
He's got 7 points, and the lead is up to 3. Southern Illinois reeling here just a little bit with under 11 minutes to go. The crowd has gotten back into this ballgame.
Very, very much so. Doing a great job on defense, this Kent State. Really taking away the dribble.
Shaw almost turned it over, and he did. The 11th turnover of the night for the Salukis.
And usually it's the other way around. They're usually the ones making the team turn over. Kent State is playing inspired basketball at the defensive end.
Lowery, former point guard for Southern Illinois, trying to get his team back on track offensively. Marcus Crenshaw up court. Crenshaw got the start tonight in place of Armand Giggs. Feed inside and the basket bounce. Going again. Gerwig has 4. It off, and Warren came up short, and Kelly was there with the stick back. Check that Shaw, Matt Shaw.
Perseverance paid off that time.
And Shaw has 10. Lead back to 3 as we approach the midway point in the second half. Look at the great disparity in points in the paint. Kent State doubling up on the Salukis. Wide open. Youngblood maybe a little bit too wide open that time. Had too much time to think about it.
You know, we were talking earlier about the fact that they're going to get wide open shots because of the double team by Southern Illinois. What I think Kent State should do and realize that today is not their day shooting the 3. Take a step or 2 inside the 3-point circle. Get a 2. 2s will win this game. 2s and 1s will win this game.
Kent State has made just 1 3-pointer. Incredible. Good defense on the wing by Cutler. Knocked it out of bounds as Edwin comes back in. Edwin has been a little quiet offensively, averaging about 13 points a game, but in this one, just 1 of 5 from the field. Hairston out top.
You would think that these teams have played each other before. They both seem to have done a great job in scouting and preparing for each other.
Nice feed inside and an easy one underneath for Joshua Warren from Washington, Missouri.
Far too easy. The ball should never, ever enter the low post from above the foul line.
Oh, and Tatum with a pinch.
Great steal.
He got it off Crenshaw and made it count. Boy, Tatum doing it defensively as well. Made his own that time. He has 19, a game-high 19.
Well, this is how this team can turn you and turn the game around just like that with their defense. And they turn their defensive steals into baskets.
Tatum almost came up with another loose ball. Jumper no good from the corner. Loose ball, and Tatum comes up with it. It's a 3-on-3. And Tatum fouled. Jamaal Tatum playing with religious zeal, with a near religious fervor on the court tonight. 19 points. And pumping up the volume with his bench as well. Bracket Buster Saturday featuring teams trying to break their way to the March NCAA Tournament. UW-Milwaukee taking on Hawaii at 8 Eastern on ESPN2, then midnight on ESPN. It's UTEP taking on Pacific, ascending the top 25 now at 19. This is really one of the great weekends in college basketball, Mike, when I hate to use the term, but the mid-majors really get an up-close look nationally. Some of the teams you don't usually get a chance to see take the main stage.
And they should be seen more. We really should probably show more of their games. But this is great for them because today the selection committee members who may not see enough games either will be watching for sure. Make no mistake about it.
Hey, there's always TiVo and videotape.
Well, there really is. Because these are great games to watch, and these guys can play, and, which is evidence every year in the NCAA Tournament when you find these guys knocking off people, not by accident. I wouldn't want to play either one of these guys.
Hairston on the baseline. Out to a wide open Brooks, and Darren Brooks. You know, it was just a matter of time. His offense, invariable and inexorable, starting to bring it now as Southern Illinois retakes the lead now by 4 points with 8:08 to go in the ballgame. 9-0 run by the Salukis. This place has fallen deafeningly silent. Ball knocked out of bounds by Hairston. Timeout on the floor here at the Mack Center on the campus of Kent State University. Jim Christian pondering his next move. What impresses you the most? What do your Golden Flashes have to do to get back into this? You've seen them more than us.
You know, Kent State's a team that has always shot the ball so well from the outside. And really, that's what shocked me, is that they're even within 4 against, you know, we're talking a top 50 team here in Southern Illinois. It's impressive they've hung around this long.
Well, David, thanks a lot for joining us. We saw in a poignant moment, shed some tears when they announced you were the winner. We thought it was because they told you how much you were going to have to work for us. But congratulations once again.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Welcome to the family. Going to be starting up in March up in Bristol, and look for him soon on our family of networks, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN News. And he starts Monday, actually, on ESPN News. And don't forget that the brand new Dream Job starts up next Sunday, our 3rd season. J.R. Reed, Dana Barris, Gerald Wilkins, Matt Bullard, Terrell Dawkins, former NBA players, 5 for the next job.
Oh boy, we better watch out, huh?
4-point ball game with 7 minutes to go.
Just what you want. Yeah, great game. Guys are playing their hearts out. Both teams doing a great job right now, really moving the ball and bringing the big guys away, cutting to the basket, driving it.
Hairston back out to Brooks with 10 on the shot clock. A little show and go. Baseline jumper no good, but Shaw with another good rebound and puts it home.
You gotta box out. You gotta move that guy out of the paint.
Shaw leads the team in field goal percentage at 61%. Became a starter 7 games ago, and right now it's 11-0. SIU run. Actually, no, it's 14 points for Shaw.
Great penetration set up that shot and that foul, and now you get a chance to go to the free throw line and make 2.
Youngblood got a quick breather and then came right back into the game less than a minute later. What do you think was behind that substitution?
Well, I'll tell you what I noticed, and it's a great thing with both these teams. When these guys get tired, they put their hand up, and I think they've got a rule like I used to have once a long time ago that if you take yourself out of the game and you're playing well, then you'll be the first guy to go back in. I think that's what it's all about because he's playing well.
Youngblood at the free throw line. His team down by 6.
But you know, you got to trust your coach a little bit when you do that. You got to have faith in him that he's going to put you back in. That's why some guys, they never want to come out.
Missed both of them.
You can't miss your free throws at this stage of the game.
And he's a 70% foul shooter. Young out top for Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois comes in 21-6. Kent State 16-9. And for the psyche of Kent State, this is huge. Youngblood had it knocked away. Christian calling for the foul.
And rightfully so. Just got to be careful not to go too far on the court.
Under 6 minutes to go. Hairston out top.
Good ball movement, good cutting.
14 on the shot clock. Brooks missed the floater in the lane.
Photographed the basketball.
Brooks knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with Kent State. Down by 6 with 5:31 to go. Jim Christian in his 3rd year as the head coach. And their conference, they still have a chance to win the East Division in the MAC with 4 games to go. A lot of work ahead and trying to snap out of a 2-game losing streak right now.
Jim Christian, I mean, I remember watching him play when I was coaching high school. He was on one of those BU teams that my high school team used to watch practice. He was a skinny freshman back then, and then he transferred down to Rhode Island where he learned some more of his trade under Tom Penders. In fact, I believe they went to the grade 8.
Inside, Ames missed the shot, a wild, out-of-control type of shot.
And right about now, Mark, what I think's happening here is the officials are involved in the game in the sense that these are Missouri Valley Conference officials. They're used to seeing Southern Illinois play with a lot of, I guess, a lot of contact, and they're letting a lot of things go right now.
Saluki's very deliberate, Mike, offensively, going deep into the shot clock once again on this possession, much like the previous 2. Brooks traveled with it that time with 7 on the shot clock. Never like to down gear too early because then you risk not being able to turn it on again, right?
By all means, and with the 3-point shot, the shot clock, most teams now will not really go into any kind of delay or stall game unless it's under maybe 2 minutes and they're up by 10 or more points. Because you got to keep playing. Otherwise, the guys stop also playing at the defensive end.
The MAC Conference has had a good day on the scoreboard so far. And right now, Kent State trying to represent the conference well, but turning it over that time. Huntley couldn't find the handle. That's their 8th turnover of the ballgame. Kent State on the season averaging 14 turnovers a game. From outside, Brooks calmly knocks down the jumper, and it's a 9-point ball game. Brooks with 14, right at his season average.
Well, he seems to get better as the game goes on, and you think he's tired, he's not.
To think that Kent State rallied and actually took the lead in this half at one point. Blocking foul going to be called against LaMar Owen.
Well, it just goes to show you how good this Southern Illinois team is. There's a reason why their RPI ranking, I believe, right now is 13, I believe. And that's 13 in the country. That's out of 320-something schools.
Right now, first place in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're 6-1 since Matt Shaw moved back into the starting lineup.
They're a team this year, Mark, that I think no matter what happens in their conference, they're in at large. They're a team that's going to be in the tournament.
Has to be. Jason Edwin knocks down the free throw. Edwin shooting 67% from the foul line with just 5 points in the ball game so far. Young man from the British Virgin Islands took a very circuitous route to Kent State University here. Left the island 16 years as a 16-year-old. Played high school ball in Warsaw. Class B Player of the Year. Played in St. Louis for a couple of seasons before finally landing here at Kent State after transfer. It's a 16-3 Southern Illinois run.
What you find a lot of times when you get these guys playing at quote-unquote mid-major schools, it actually ends up being most of the time a great move. And speaking of moves, I think we're gonna go right into a little break.
Back after this.
So.
Our game in Ohio, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Back here at Kent State University, the MAC Center Bracket Buster Saturday. A little bit of a recap for you. MAC Conference winning out with Miami of Ohio, Bowling Green. A couple of winners today. And that helps out the collective RPI of the conference. And don't forget that UW-Milwaukee taking on Hawaii next on ESPN 2 at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Salukis at the free throw line. It's Jamaal Tatum. Tatum, Shaw, and Brooks have accounted for 48 of the team's 57 points so far.
Good teams go to the hot men, and that's what Southern Illinois is doing. Very, very critical stage right now. 10-point differential. You got to get it under 10 first, psychologically.
Tatum with 21 points in the game. Rosinski. Cutley out top. You don't like to so hard when you trail big and then come back and take the lead and then lose it again. It's tough to get your juice back. But Rosinski gets the layup inside, cutting the lead to 8.
Very difficult. Very difficult to do that. No doubt about it. Usually teams make one real good run. It's very difficult to make more than that.
Guards doing a little run and jump defensively.
Yes, something they worked on earlier today in case they needed it. Right now they need to do something a little different.
Tatum outside with 15 on the shot clock.
And they designate which guys they're going to leave and run at the ball with.
Little 1-4 set, they flatten it out for him. Brooks. Hairston inside the three-point line, and that's what seniors do for you, Mike. They knock down big shots. He has 5, and the lead is up to 10.
What's so impressive about this group is they never got rattled today. And I'm not saying they're going to win this game, but they certainly didn't rattle when most teams would have early on.
Youngblood trying to make a play.
And they play solid defense, and all their guys can close out on you, take away the dribble. That's why this team is as good as they are, as ranked as highly as they are.
Approaching 2 minutes to go here on Bracket Buster Saturday. Southern Illinois led for most of the game, lost the lead here briefly in the second half before regaining it with a 14-0 run. And the Salukis, Joshua Warren, calls a timeout with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Some of the luminaries and stars on hand here today. Antonio Gates of the San Diego Chargers, a former basketball player. That's right, basketball player, not football player, basketball player. At State. He's a little worn out from that trip to Hawaii in the Pro Bowl, but this is what he looked like a few years ago. He scored 1,216 career points, at a school record 640 points in 2002, 2003, and caught a touchdown pass from Peyton Manning in the Pro Bowl last week. I always say, Mike Jarvis,
yes,
you show me a good four-man, a good power forward, I'll put him at tight end, and he beat anybody. Anybody.
You're probably right. I mean, I'll tell you what, Karl Malone, would he scare you or not if he was in a football uniform? I think you're absolutely right, whether they're undersized or not.
Antonio Gates and David Holmes honored at halftime. David Holmes, the winner of the Dream Job contest for ESPN. Also a former Kent State student. Here's Hairston. Missed everything.
Yeah, right now the guard should be basically the ones hammering and shooting the basketball for Southern Illinois.
Flash is still with a chance. They haven't made many threes, and they turn it over. They're not going to come back making plays like that.
And who just made that steal? I'll tell you, this guy, he's incredible. Darren Brooks can make it hurt you so many different ways.
Rosinski comes up with a steal. Southern Illinois giving this one away. Crenshaw fouled. One to the free throw line for a pair.
Well, once he heard that whistle, he threw it up because he knew he'd get two. It was a very, very headsy play.
Crenshaw's only gone to the free throw line 4 times this year.
That's what happens when you stay away from the basket.
Oh, he's 5'9". I forgot to mention that.
That's right. He's smart.
His first trip to the strike today knocks down the first of 2. Gates comes back into the ball game along with Youngblood.
During that last time out, I just happened to peek down at the Southern Illinois bench, and the coach was telling the guys to go back door against those Janelles. Back cut, back cut, back cut. Let's see if they do it. I think he just got away with a little push that time.
Crenshaw got a nice look from 3. Got it. And it's a 6-point game with plenty of time to go.
Sure is. 2-possession game.
You can't sleep on the little freshman from Detroit, Michigan.
Something about lefties.
Well, the Salukis have played in some competitive bracket buster games the last 2 years. This one against Hawaii. 3-pointer. And then 2 years ago, it was Darren Brooks missing this time, but Hairston was there to tip it in right there for the final margin of victory at the buzzer. So their record is spotless 2-0 so far on Bracket Buster Saturdays. Here's a look at a pretty impressive tournament resume. 21-6 overall, first place in the Missouri Valley. RPI is sparkling, stellar at 13. And key wins over Vandy, St. Louis, and Creighton.
I'll tell you what, I mean, look at the bottom graphic. The only losses this year were on the road.
And And that trend might break if they should hang on and win here today at Kent State. It's a 30-second timeout as Chris Lowery draws one up so his team can get the ball inbound. And don't forget that Bracket Buster Saturday featuring teams trying to get into the big dance continues on ESPN2. UW Milwaukee takes on Hawaii, and UTEP takes on Pacific on ESPN at midnight, 9 o'clock Pacific time. Pacific leading the Big West Conference, and in the midst of a 17-game win streak. There's a look at a great menu of games coming up on ESPN and ESPN2. Here's a look at the mid-majors poll, and fair to say that Southern Illinois, this side of Gonzaga, might be one of the top two mid-majors in the country.
Yes, and if you're going to put Gonzaga in that mix, then you got to put the team we saw last weekend there as well, George Washington. But maybe they don't consider them a mid-major.
Probably not. 6-point ball game. Hairston goes to the free throw. Brzezinski's hands get set to come back into the ball game. Situational substitutions. As Tony Young comes out.
At this stage of the game, you want your best handlers in the game. If you're Southern Illinois, you want your best defenders in the game. Obviously, if you Kent State, because you got to make stops.
Hairston, meanwhile, the lefty from Fairview Heights, Illinois, knocks down another free throw. Young man that has overcome a little bit of adversity, got in a fight during the preseason. Was forced to sit out 3 games by head coach Chris Lowery. And Lowery dealt with the adversity early, soon after taking over, and has done a marvelous job of pressing the right buttons and pulling the right strings for his team in the big picture. From the corner for 3, no good. Youngblood with the miss. And a foul committed by Brzezinski with 45 seconds to go. The lead at 8 points.
Well, you speak of Chris Lowery. He's young in age, but he's very mature. Watching him today in practice, he's the kind of guy that when he speaks, everybody listens. He's also a guy that lets his assistants, involves his assistants, and they're involved and they work at their trade as well as him.
Been a great succession of coaches at Southern Illinois. Started with Bruce Weber and Matt Painter for a year, and then Painter left to take over another program, and Lowery at 32 years old. The head coach at Southern Illinois, they kept it all in-house. And thus kept the continuity going.
4th youngest, and I think right now the 3rd winningest.
Haynes a little bit strong, got his rebound back out of bounds. Kent State ball.
And if you're talking about Chris Lowery, I guess the guy you got to give some credit to is the assistant coach Rodney Watson, who recruited him. And they're on the same staff now working together. That says a lot about both men.
Brzezinski from the corner. This one is just about cooked, glazed, and ready to be sliced. There's Jamaal Tatum, really responsible for that spurt at the end of the first half that gave them a little bit of leeway and playroom. As Southern Illinois now with a 10-point lead. Tatum, the sophomore, with a sparkling stat line, 21 points. A team-high, game-high, 21.
That handsome gentleman behind Chris Lowery was Mr. Watson, Coach Watson. I know his wife would love to hear his name and see his picture.
Tatum last year, as we mentioned, shot 46% from downtown. Now has 23. Well, Kent State will see their misery continue now on a 3-game losing streak, while Southern Illinois will improve to 22-6 overall and a win on the road. And this is not an easy place to win a basketball game. There are some 6,500 people here today.
Very difficult place to win a basketball game, but when you're good, you can win on the road like Southern Illinois.
So Chris Lowery's crew improved to 22-6 overall by virtue of a 65-54 win. Jim Christian's team falls to 16-10, but still A big part of their schedule will be played with 4 conference games remaining in the MAC, still entertaining hopes of winning the MAC East Division. Southern Illinois still sitting atop the Missouri Valley Conference. The final score is 65-54. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Right now, we're going to take you back to our studio host, Scott Reese, on Bracket Buster Saturday. Scott?
All right, Mark, thanks so much. Nice win for Southern Illinois on the road against Kent State. A lot of great Bracket Buster action already in the books. We'll show you some